My name is Lauren Wyatt, and I'm a grants management specialist in the Office of Grants Management, Community Strengthening Grants portfolio. I'd like to give a warm welcome to all of our new and returning CED grantees. Engagement is super important right now, especially during such unprecedented times like this. So I'm really looking forward to assisting you guys with the financial success of your projects and partnering with you all to facilitate such impactful community work. So let's dive in here. Next slide. This is just a quick overview of what we'll cover today: OGM roles and responsibilities and contacts, preparing for your award, intro to the new notice of award, key components of the new notice of award, terms of the grant process, post-award, and updates. This is just a small graphic that shows the grants management life cycle in its entirety. And as you can see, it's a very collaborative process from beginning to end. It's just, to give you an idea of what's going on there. Next slide. To ensure grantee success and optimal financial stewardship, OGM has a set of very specific responsibilities to make this happen, including ensuring compliance with the applicable laws, regulations, policies, procedures, technical aspects of grants, and fiscal monitoring. We are the official recipient and point persons for the SF 425 reports and requests for prior approval via Grant Solutions, requesting amendments to the original grant application, such as changes in key personnel, clarification of budget issues, particularly the allowability of costs, and guidance on submitting fiscal reports and other official correspondence. Next slide. So these are your CSG team points of contact here. You'll either be hearing from us, or you definitely can reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns, but our emails are included in this PowerPoint for your reference. So let's get into preparing for your award. On a very basic level, there are three parts to the federal awarding process. There's the application phase, the grant review phase, and the actual issuance of the federal grant award. So in building your award, we're processing these in the Grant Solutions or in the mandatory grants module. We receive a ranking and approval list from the program office listing all grantees who have met eligibility requirements. We then conduct business reviews using the SF 424 to add or update any important information to Grant Solutions. The notice of awards are sent to Grant Solutions accounting for issuance. OGM then prepares the notice of award with footnotes, remarks, and terms and conditions. OGM then prepares a review packet for the program office to approve, which contains the notice of awards, list of grantees, and amounts of the awards. This packet goes through a review cycle with the budget office, program office, division directors, finally being signed off in OGM. During award completion, the grants management officer certifies the approved awards. Grant Solutions transfers the money into UFMS overnight, and grantees' awards are in PMS usually within 24 hours. So we've revamped our notice of award. And what is the notice of award, you ask? Next slide. Once the final award decisions are made, the awarding agency sends a notice of award to the entity selected for funding. The notice of award is the official and legally binding issuance of the award. When you or your organization accepts the grant, by either signing the grant agreement or drawing down funds, you become legally obligated to carry out the full terms and conditions of the grant. Next slide. So these are key components of the notice of award. And due to the layout, I'm not going to be going in sequential order, so just bear with me for a moment here. So we've got item number 4 and 5, which are your EIN and DUNS numbers. One is a 9-digit number that's issued by the IRS to identify your organization for tax purposes. The other is a number, also 9-digit, that's assigned to each physical location of your business. The award number is an alphanumeric figure that identifies your unique organization within the Fed system. And then the statutory authority, which is Congress giving us permission to essentially initiate and manage and fund these programs. We've got project director and principal investigator next. And this is like the program manager, the person that's responsible for the day-to-day management of the project. They are different from the authorized official, who is the legal representative of the organization. So they're the signatory authority. They sign off on all the contracts or any other documents used for official purposes, including changes in the organization, such as addresses or points of contact. You've got your budget period start and end date, excuse me, which is the beginning and end of the budget period. The total awards obligated this action, which are the dollar amounts that are specific to this notice of award. And then you've got your project period start and end dates, which are self-explanatory, the beginning and end of the project period. Lastly, you've got terms and conditions, which are the specific and legally binding items to which both the grantee and grantor are obligated, and then remarks, which will include information that is specific to your individual grant award. Okay, next. So these are terms that you should familiarize yourself with on the financial side of grants. We've got project period versus budget period. So the project period is established in the award document, and this is when the project sponsorship begins and ends. The budget period is also listed on the notice of award, and this is the period in which the organization is going to be funded. So the budget period can be for 1 year, for instance, and a project period itself could last for 5, but you're getting awarded year by year. So those are the differences there. The period of performance is the time during which the non-federal entity may incur new obligations to carry out the work authorized under the federal award. Next. We've got obligation period versus the liquidation period. Obligation period is just making sure that any goods, services, or transactions, subawards that the organization or subgrantees have made, all of those accounts are resolved by the end of the project period. The liquidation period, which happens 90 days, calendar days after the end of the period of performance, it's just making sure that all your financial performance and other reports, as required by the terms and conditions, are submitted in a timely fashion by the close of the project. Next. So closeout and gone acts. Here's really what's important here. The Gone Act requires agencies to close out grants that have been expired for 2 or more years. So sometimes you find that you may not have expended all your funds during the course of a project period, or a budget period rather, and you want to roll them over. In instances where your grants expire, that process is a little more complicated. So we do want to make sure that we're being timely and as accurate as possible with our financial reporting. Extension requests or extensions of the liquidation period can be honored and have to be submitted to the Office of Grants Management, copying the program office. And we can go on to the next slide here. Post-award. So post-award is describing actions that occur after you've been awarded grant funds. These pieces are critical in capturing program impact as measured with financial outputs and ensuring grantees are in full compliance with the terms and conditions set forth in the notice of award. So the request, for instance, change in point of contact. This is someone like an authorized representative or program investigator or your program manager. These requests must be pre-approved, submitted on letterhead in writing to the Office of Grants Management and the program office. Along with that, your 424M should be uploaded into OLDC with the new contact information. Once that occurs, OGM will be back in touch to confirm receipt of the updated information, and then we can go on to update our other program support systems. Next. So no cost extensions. For grants with 5-year project periods, all funds must be drawn down by the original end date of the project period. No cost extensions may still be granted for the completion of incomplete program activities, but grant funds not drawn down by the end of the project period will be lost. And no cost extensions may be requested in 3, 6, or 12-month intervals. Again, it does not indicate that you will receive more funding. It is just additional time to complete pre-approved project objectives. Next. Budget modification. So this is this is something that grantees often request, and prior approval is also necessary for this. Extension of the budget or project period, change in scope of work or work objectives, change in the project director or principal investigator, an absence for more than 3 months or 25% reduction in time of the aforementioned individuals, or significant rebudgeting. For instance, COVID-19 just impacted a lot of organizations in the way that they do business. So in those instances, you might have requested a budget modification to be able to tailor your services more specifically to your circumstances. Next slide, please. And this is the process for requesting that budget modification if needed. Next. So we've got reporting requirements here. Beginning in fiscal year 21, grantees will submit federal financial reports or Form SF-425 through DHHS Payment Management System. This is on a semi-annual basis, occurring the second and fourth quarters or every 6 months for the duration of the project period. The same due dates as the PPR, with final due dates 90 days after the end of the project period. And here you can see the exact dates. We actually tack on an additional 30 days to give you time to complete these reports. So you have the last date, the deadline, and then when it's actually due. Grantees have to update their access profile and PMS to include the ability to electronically access and upload their SF-425 reports. If you do not request this access, you will not be able to access the reports, which could impact your ability to submit in a timely fashion. Again, you see the due dates of the reports here, and we can go on to the next slide now. So property reporting requirements, there are 2 forms you would fill out, the SF-428 or SF-429. One, a tangible personal property report, and must be submitted on an annual basis just to confirm whether you have property or not. The SF-429 is more of a disposition form. So if you've acquired property using grant funds in all or part, then you would submit an SF-429C at the end of your project, which are disposition instructions for the federal government, at which time you're either able to retain the property, sell the property, or a few other options there in between. Next slide. Reporting in PMS. Recipients who receive grants from fiscal year 16 forward are required to upload their federal financial status reports in PMS. Excuse me. There is no requirement to upload this into Grant Solutions. Grantees will need to update their PMS access profile to include the ability to electronically access and upload their completed SF-425 reports in PMS. Grantees are encouraged to submit timely reports in PMS to avoid drawdown restrictions placed on your accounts. Note that OGM can act as a liaison if problems arise, but have no direct control over PMS operations. And I do want to note that PMS offers FFR and technical support for those who may need it, and that the FFR and the federal cash transaction reports are different, both submitted in PMS, both requiring pretty much the same information, but one is for the ACF grants office and one is for payment management system. So you're basically submitting multiple federal financial reports, and therein it's important that everything you're reporting matches up. This is the 3 buckets. So your drawdowns, your disbursements, your expenditures. They've got to match up across both reports, or you guys might encounter some difficulty. Let's go on to updates. So This is just basically saying that there are no additional reporting requirements as related to CARES Act funding that was passed last year, 2020. Next. Grant Solutions is changing platforms. So, due to security and usability concerns, as of August 17th, they will no longer support Internet Explorer browser function and related technical support. So, you guys are really encouraged to begin using Firefox or Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, or something of that nature to prepare for that transition. So, OGM is thrilled to be able to engage with our grantees on such an intimate level. Feel free to leave any questions you may have in the chat feature. They will be captured and answers to all questions will be posted along with this presentation for your reference. Thanks for your time. And again, welcome to the ACF Grants family.